I'm Jessica Riley, and did you know something as simple as drawing can help your mental health? Coming up next on WVU News, I'll tell you how art can create a positive outlook for your mental health.
These extraordinary pieces of artwork behind me were created by individuals of Morgantown who describe themselves as houseless. I'm Alexandra Bunn, and coming up next on WVU News, I'll have more about our unsheltered neighbors of Morgantown.
I am Carly Burkhouse, and straight ahead, I will tell you how WVU has been helping veterans find a community and relieve stress. Our Emmy Award-winning WVU News starts now.
Student veterans are more likely to be dealing with mental disabilities, but there are resources here at WVU to help with this transition to college. We will bring you that story. I'm Allie McDaniel.
And I'm Daniel Woods. During the pandemic, there was a 25% increase globally in anxiety and depression. A club at WVU hosted an Out of Darkness walk to support those struggling.
And how can a pet alleviate your stress and anxiety? WVU will have those stories and more on our special edition show, Mental Health in America, a Growing Crisis.
"22 a day. That is the number of veterans who attempt suicide every single day. And across America, 41% or 1.7 million veterans report a mental health issue.
But here on campus, there is a place that gives WVU student veterans a safe place to meet, share, and cope with any struggles. Reporter Carly Burkhouse gives us an inside look into WVU's very own bunker.
Veteran Adam Cooley says that transitioning from military life into civilian life has been a stressful change, but that programs and support at WVU have been helping ease the stress of the transition and has helped him succeed in his academic career.
I found the school I wanted to go to, and they're like, just take this and you're good to go. It was stressful because I didn't really know what I was doing, and I'm really old for being like, when I was a freshman I was 25, and now I'm 27, and I'm a junior, senior in between, and it's just really hard to talk to other people.
WVU is currently home to nearly 1,000 veterans pursuing various college degrees. Experts say that veterans who are attending higher education tend to have a high level of stress and anxiety and tend to struggle with the feeling of isolation. However, some colleges, such as WVU, are creating programs to help veterans reduce this stress and make the transition smoother. Penny Lipscomb, Associate Director and Program Coordinator, says that one of the programs that WVU has created is called the Military Science 191 course.
Ultimately, it will help them transition from military to college life or civilian life. It is our goal to help them transition academically, personally, and professionally to reach their goals at WVU.
A department at WVU created for veterans is named the Mountaineer Bunker. It was developed so that veterans have a space on campus to meet other veterans. Current student and veteran Nicole Gerard says that the Mountaineer Bunker has made her college experience better.
The relationships with veterans to other veterans is completely different than you get anywhere else. So for us to have a safe space where it's all of us veterans, where we can talk to each other, have our sense of humor, and talk about things that no one else understands, I mean, this is incredible to be able to have this.
WVU having these programs has given veterans the support and care that they need so that the stress that comes along with transitioning into civilian life can be decreased. Carly Burkhouse, WVU News, Morgantown.
And veterans aren't the only ones feeling the stress that being in college brings.
Over 80% of college students report being stressed out by school. Lauren Farnsworth is here to tell us more. Lauren?
Thanks, Daniel. Allie. There has been an increase in stress, anxiety, and depression since the start of COVID-19, with over 40% of college students reporting symptoms of depression since the start of the pandemic. A group here in Morgantown banded together through the Out of the Darkness walk to bring awareness to those struggling with their mental health. The walk is a national event that shines a light on suicide prevention. I got an inside look at how the walk is helping some heal. The WVU Psychology Club hosted the Out of the Darkness Campus Walk. Lauren Swar is president of the Psychology Club and has advice for people who are struggling right now.
Trying to remember that you are not truly alone in this, though you may really feel so, and that it may feel so, especially with COVID and stuff being, stuck inside the house and everything. There are so many people that love and care about you, and reach out to them, and please there are so many resources, and I promise it's worth it. I promise it is.
According to studies, suicide is the 11th leading cause of death in West Virginia, and nearly 1 in 5 Americans will experience a mental illness in their lifetime. Some West Virginia University students attending the event want to bring awareness to the resources WVU has and make less people feel like an outcast.
Knowing that you know somebody that went through this makes it so much easier to open up and be like, I need help. How did you do this? It's not going well right now.
People attending the event wore different colored beads that had different meanings. Wearing the honor beads help people identify others who understand their experience and to show they are not alone. These walks are held in hundreds of cities across the country. This year alone, there were 400 events in all 50 states. Officials say these events give people the courage to open up about mental health and suicide prevention.
Thanks, Lauren. Odds are you have felt stressed out at some point during the pandemic. In fact, a fifth of American adults report high levels of stress, anxiety, and depression over the past 2 years, Allie.
But studies show, Daniel, that listening to music can help reduce stress, decrease anxiety, and improve your overall mental health. Reporter Dustin Cawthorn gives us an inside look at how WVU is preparing the next generation of music therapists.
If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea.
Music holds great power to change how we think and feel. From Mozart to the Beatles, music brings out emotion in almost everyone.
Music specifically has helped my mental health by helping me feel supported and not alone.
This is something recognized by doctors as well. Music therapy is a board-certified therapy method invented by the War Department in the 1940s to treat a variety of issues, including anxiety, depression, PTSD, eating disorders, and more.
It isn't just sitting around and playing either. It is an actual medical treatment which aims to generate a change in the patient.
We engage with music, even if we don't consider ourselves musicians. Music engages us. It's engaging to our brains. So it helps us with some of our emotional goals through engaging with music. Music provides us a way to speak when we don't have the right words.
Music therapy includes a variety of goals tailored to the individual, including improving communication, social, sensory, and emotional skills. Now a new generation of WVU students is learning how to use music therapy to make the lives of others better.
When I think of music therapy, it just excites me. I think that it is my calling. I'm very passionate about it. I love music and I love helping people, and that's just a combination of what it is,
Mont says music therapy can be used in a variety of settings, from hospitals to help stroke patients walk again, to speech therapy in schools.
'Cause you can count on me like 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there.
Dustin Cawthorn, WVU News, Morgantown.
More than 20% of music therapists work in mental health settings. Music therapy can also help with heart conditions, autism, substance abuse, and Alzheimer's.
And music isn't the only form of art that can help relieve these mental health conditions. Photography, painting, and pottery are other creative ways that can be used as an outlet to relieve your stress and boost your mood.
That's right, Allie. Research shows that just 45 minutes of creative activity a day can significantly reduce stress. Jessica Riley joins us now from Studio B at the Reed College Media Innovation Center with her segment, Storytelling with Data, to tell us more. Jessica?
Allie, Daniel, the pandemic left people in isolation, resulting in an increase of mental health disorders. With the decline of COVID cases, events are opening back up in full force. Over the weekend, I attended a Morgantown art walk to learn more about how the arts are helping people's mental state.
I love your art. Cicely Sharafferty is an artist and says through the pandemic she was able to create art to help her find serenity in a hard time.
I love just letting the creative juices just flow out. So whenever I create something, most of the time I don't even do a sketch. I just like put it out on the canvas and just like let my imagination take me.
Nearly 1 in 5 adults in the U.S. live with some sort of mental illness, and through the pandemic, those illnesses continued to worsen through isolation. Barbara Watkins, Main Street Morgantown director, hosts an art walk for the community every year, and she says events like these give people a chance to get out and connect.
I think it helps them get back out of the house. There again, with the social distancing, when people are inside and they're not socializing, I think that really has an effect on your mental health.
Pandemic left people with solitude, looking for other ways to stay calm. Art has become therapeutic for many, allowing them to tap into their subconscious and feel less stressed.
Findings show that just 30 minutes of active arts daily can help lower anxiety and depression and increase life satisfaction.
Art therapy can improve many disorders in the U.S., such as addiction, attention disorders, grief, PTSD, and more. Cicely says that participating in art can help you let loose and express emotions, and doesn't matter how you do it.
Art could be abstract, it could be realistic, it could be like anything you want. So I think definitely like with people who have like mental health issues, just like letting like whatever's in your mind come out to paper, whether it's like happiness, sadness, like whatever emotion you're feeling, definitely like lets everything like flow through.
Almost 20% of adults are experiencing a mental disorder in 2022, and 5% of those experience severe cases. Artistic activities such as sculpting, painting, drawing, and more have the power to lower stress levels and boost calmness.
If you missed April's Art Walk, you'll have the chance to attend again May 14th from 11 a.m. through 4 p.m. in downtown Morgantown. You can find more information about this event and others at the website at the bottom of your screen. Allie, back to you at the Waterfront Studio.
Thanks, Jessica. There's an estimated 1,000 people who are houseless on any given day right here in West Virginia, with a myth that many houseless individuals deal with a mental illness, when in reality, Daniel, only 15% of adults who are houseless deal with severe mental illness.
And an art exhibit right here in Morgantown is hoping to change the narrative about people experiencing houselessness. Reporter Alexandra Bunn is here to tell us more. Alexandra?
Thanks, Daniel. There are many social factors that contribute to someone being homeless or without a house, such as the lack of available low-cost housing and poor economic conditions. That makes things harder for struggling individuals, including some right here in Morgantown. A partnership between several community leaders called Humans of Morgantown recently debuted their art experience entitled Neighbors Beyond Neighborhoods. The art in the exhibit was made by and featured the unsheltered in our area. Houselessness in West Virginia reaches those of all backgrounds, including families, veterans, and young adults. The goal of the exhibit was to tackle negative stigmas surrounding the houseless community. Some common stigmas around the unsheltered are that they are drug addicts, deviant, or have some form of mental illness. This project is aiming to stop the stigma around the houseless. Neighbors Beyond Our Neighborhoods are helping to put a face to the 500,000 Americans who are houseless through portraits, paintings, and sculptures.
Thanks, Alexandra. I'm glad the exhibit was able to shine a positive light on the houseless here in our community.
Me too, Allie. And coming up, sports reporters Andrew Nogowski and Sophia Pisano give us a look into how COVID brought an end to some sports seasons and how student athletes are dealing with their mental health.
COVID-19 put seasons on hold for many student athletes. I'm Andrew Nogowski, and coming up next, I'll tell you how the pandemic affected the mental stamina of student athletes right here at the university.
Depression rates are significantly higher in current student athletes versus retired ones. I'm Sophia Pisano, and straight ahead on WVU News, I'll tell you what has our student athletes stressing out.
West Virginia University is a place where learning is an adventure, inside and outside. You'll become an innovator, a boundary breaker, an earth shaker. Choose your circle from 30,000 fellow mountaineers, and choose your path from hundreds of majors and minors. In a community that feels small, and you'll use this to get to class. You'll have room to find your people, your passions, and your purpose. Because we're a place where everyone fits. This is WVU. This is home.
WVU News is local, in-depth, and always on the move for you. And it's always on YouTube, on the web, and on the Reed College of Media website. A national first place Emmy Award-winning college newscast, taped at the Waterfront Studio at West Virginia University. Stay in the know, stay connected, watch WVU News.
Now that sports are back in full swing after being canceled and restricted because of COVID-19, student athletes are dealing with the toll that being on hold took mentally.
Sophia Pisano is here with sports to tell us more. Sophia?
Thanks, Allie. Daniel, spring 2020 was a time of uncertainty for all of us, and student athletes were no different, as practices, seasons, and championships were canceled due to the pandemic. Our own sports reporter Andrew Nagowski takes us to the baseball diamond to show us how the pandemic affected the mental health of some student athletes, both on and off the field.
The ping of a bat and a baseball. The ball hitting the catcher's mitt. These sounds were natural for the WVU baseball team to hear while on the diamond. But in March 2020, those sounds were nowhere to be heard when COVID-19 put an abrupt end to the team's season.
It's just something none of us have ever dealt with before. We don't know what was going to happen, if we were going to play maybe later on in the week, the next weekend, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. I mean, you just never know. It was just, no one really knew what was going to happen.
The cancellations created uncertainty for student athletes at WVU and across the country.
According to an NCAA survey in May 2020, student athletes reported experiencing mental health concerns 150 to 250% more often during the pandemic than ever before.
Dr. Sam Zizzi is a professor at WVU and a certified mental performance consultant. He says the biggest cause of the mental health issues for student athletes in spring 2020 were the unusual circumstances of the pandemic.
It's a very unfamiliar situation for athletes to be away from their team, number one, and to not be able to train and do the thing that they really like to do. So there's just many pieces of that would make them very uncomfortable.
Zizzi says on top of the disappointment of canceled seasons, student athletes experienced the same stresses and lack of connection as the rest of us.
Their social support would be much lower. So I would suspect that, they might be upset. They might have some sort of negative feelings. They might be anxious about plans that have been changed. And also the uncertainty, especially at that time, at the beginning of the pandemic, we knew so little about what was happening because it seemed endless.
But this year, WVU baseball is back on the field and off to a strong start so far this season.
But as a team, I like where we're at. I think we're making big jumps and we're looking good.
The future is certainly bright for the baseball team as they currently sit with an overall record of 22-12 and sit in third place in the Big 12 with a record of 6-3. Andrew Nagowski, WVU Sports, Morgantown.
According to an NCAA survey, about 20% of student athletes said that their feelings of stress and anxiety were a barrier to their ability to train in May of 2020. But COVID isn't the only stressor for student athletes. Between being full-time students and athletes, there's a lot of pressure put on them. I looked into why college athletes are twice as likely to be depressed as retired college athletes. More than 16.1 million adults in the United States suffer from depression, and student athletes are not an exception. Common symptoms of depression include fatigue, anxiety, irritability, and self-blame, many issues that student athletes deal with daily.
Naturally, you just have blips here and there where you might feel down, you might feel just a bit not great, but I think you kind of just got to get through it and push through.
A recent study compared current student athletes' mental health to retired student athletes. 17% of current student athletes have scores that are consistent with depression symptoms. That's more than double the 8% of retired student athletes who feel this way, according to a Georgetown University study. I spoke with Dr. Adrian Ferreira, a sports psychology professor at WVU, about these statistics, and he has a different outlook on the results.
Sometimes it may appear like depression for some of our student athletes or even other athletes that I work with other institutions, where they may have similar symptoms of always being tired, fatigued, don't have an appetite. Some of those can be very similar to burnout, which we see within athletes.
To combat these symptoms, Dr. Ferreira says it's important for student athletes to take advantage of the resources around them and utilize the friendships and communities within your team. Retired baseball player Kevin Brophy says that's what he misses the most.
A lot of, like, from my perspective, I relied on sports to keep me happy, and like that was like my mental health provider. Like that's what made me feel good. And then leaving that and like moving away from it, you have to figure out different ways to keep yourself happy. And I mean, you know, you figure it out as you go on, but it's definitely tough at first. So
Dr. Ferreira says that these emotions can be tough, but it's important to remember that they will pass. If you are a WVU student athlete struggling with school or sports, you can check out the link at the bottom of your screen for help.
Thanks, Sophia. Now that COVID numbers are declining, Allie, I certainly hope that it will make things less stressful for our college athletes.
I hope so too, Daniel. Coming up, I may just have the thing to help all students with anxiety and stress: emotional support animals.
I'm Allie McDaniel, and straight ahead on WVU News, I'll tell you how emotional support animals like Conan here are helping students right here at WVU.
My purpose as an engineer is to help develop solutions for our passengers, operators, technicians, to help us all do our jobs better and to help our constituents have better rides here at the PRT. The PRT is a nice little transportation system for Morgantown. We definitely have something unique, and we have something that's very personal. You know, you walk onto the platform as a student, you say, I want to go to this place. There's no stops for you in between like on bigger systems. So I would say that we definitely have a very personal experience for each individual passenger. Once I actually became a staff engineer, you know, being able to work with all these different contractors and write different documents, it really shows how you as an individual can impact other people just by doing a good job.
At WVU, an education is more than just a diploma. It's about the journey along the way. From your first week of class to your last, we offer a college experience with top-tier R1 research, one-of-a-kind traditions, and top-ranked academic programs, all designed to land you your dream job and not break the bank. Here, we reward hard work and work hard to support you, because we're all in this together. This is WVU. This is home.
Did you know that Governor Jim Justice is starting a statewide school therapy dog program right here in West Virginia, Allie?
You know, I did know that, Daniel. And while the state is working to get therapy dogs into schools, students here at WVU already have emotional support animals to help them through these stressful times.
Emotional support animals are on the rise as more and more students look to four-legged friends in hopes to aid their transitions into college life. According to the Mayo Clinic, up to 44% of college students say they experience some form of anxiety or depression. Freshman Blaney Fabian is one of those students, saying she adopted her cat, Salem, to ease her feelings of loneliness.
So I grew up around animals, and I feel like it was always just very comforting to me to never be like alone. So especially moving here to my apartment, it was really important with my roommates. If they were gone for the night or something like that, I really wasn't used to being at home alone. So getting her was like my little companion.
In order to have one of these emotional support animals approved to live in on-campus housing, students must complete a verification process through the Office of Accessibility Services. and its specialists are seeing the effects of these animals firsthand.
They just light up when they're able to do it, and they thrive, and it's great to see them strive and be able to show that, the student that they're able to be, even if it's just having an emotional support animal on campus to come home to when they're feeling, stressed and overwhelmed.
And research shows that Americans are turning to pets for companionship now more than ever. The ASPCA estimates more than 23 million Americans purchased a pet during the pandemic, which accounts to more than 1 in 5 households nationwide.
Junior Gwen Schumann also turned to her emotional support dog, Conan, for comfort during that difficult time.
I was 17 when I moved out of my house, and I was all alone, and Conan filled the void for me. And then about 10 months later or so, the pandemic hit, and he was the one that was always with me whenever no one else could be, since we were in quarantine. And we just spent every day watching Netflix together, and just the two of us.
Tracking Happiness says that pet owners are 12% happier than non-pet owners, proving that man's best friend might be the key to boosting our moods. To learn more about emotional support animals, visit the Accessibility Office's website at the bottom of your screen.
I have to say, Allie, those animals were adorable.
I agree, Daniel, and not only are they adorable, but they really do help bring people comfort. Now, before we go, if you're looking to get rid of stuff you don't use anymore, the United Way is hosting a Blue and Gold Mine Sale on May 14th at Milan Pushkar Stadium.
They are accepting donations from May 2nd until the 11th. And you can check out the link at the bottom of your screen for donation stations and accepted items. Well, that's it for our special edition of WVU News. I'm Daniel Woods.
And I'm Allie McDaniel. You can visit us online on our website, or you can also watch our shows on YouTube. And please follow us and our reporters on Twitter. This is our final show of the semester, so thank you for watching WVU News.